Welcome to War Games, hosted by the sales genius Joe Ingram. If you're looking to win the sales battle, then you have joined the right team. In the War Games group, we devise strategies for sales, marketing, branding, mindset, and attitude. We enlist the assistance from the most successful producers across all industries. We then share their knowledge and techniques with you. Our single goal is to get you ready for your next sales opportunity. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that have crossed before you. Now, prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for the War Games to begin.
Are we playing games?
Hey, War Gamers! Welcome to our class. Today's class is on closing techniques. It's been a while since we talked about how do you close a deal. And because of that, what did I want to do? I said, let's sit down and start talking about closing a deal. So when it comes to closing a deal, let's be real. As an entrepreneur, as a sales individual, which we comment all the time, is you don't eat unless you hunt and kill something. And so in the game of sales, it's not that violent, but the answer is we really, really need to get to the point that we can consistently take a prospect and turn them into a sold product or service. And since that's going to be, for some people, really tough to do, the mindset has to be set correctly. But I want to give you techniques that are outside of the mindset. Now, of course, with the wrong mindset, none of this is going to work because you're going to be really, really subdued. You're going to be really apprehensive. You're going to come off as less than genuine, which then tells your prospect what? That you don't believe in what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to go through. Each one has its own page. I'm going to give you 5 closing techniques and a little story or a little example of how to use it that I've already written out, but I'll embellish as we go through. But let's jump into the middle of closing deals. Okay, first one I want to talk about is our assumptive close. Okay, this is where we decide before we go in to ask for the business that they've already said yes. You believe that you've provided enough value and you know it's going to benefit that customer enough and in excess of what you're charging. Typically, it's got to be 3 to 5 times their investment. If it's 3 to 5 times their investment, they have no issue with tipping over into the point of actually buying something. So, of course, this is easier once they've expressed interest. And these are people that are bought into what you're saying when you're building the value propositions, when you are building up to the point of asking for the sale. I believe these are just one of the last steps to get to. I like to use all of them as I go through the process because you need to close doors all the way up until this point. And you can use multiple transition points to get there. But once they've shown you interest and they've gone through, right? Let's go down. Let's read the example. John's a sales executive trying to get to sell new software to a prospect. So they meet, they talk about it. They talk about it. They're showing that they're interested, but they're not actually pushing through. So you want to go ahead and assume that they've already said yes. So if somebody said yes to your software product or to a training product or anything along those lines, right, what would you need to do next? You would need to schedule implementation. You would need to schedule the launch. You would need to look at them and say, when do you want this delivered? So when he sits down and comes up to him and he says, in this situation, great, when would you like to start using our software? Okay. Or I would sit down, pull out the calendar and go, when did you want to start the training? Let me compare my calendar with yours. We automatically assume there's no reason for them not to. And more than likely, if you're using it correctly, meaning they've shown interest. If they've shown no interest, you're like, when do you want to get started? Nobody's going to do it. They're going to stop you right away. Remember, a close is what? It's either moving you towards the sale or highlighting an objection. So understand, you can't mess up a close. It's either going to reveal the objection or it's going to show you which way you have to go, which is towards the sale. Okay, good enough. Let's go on to our next one. Next one is our alternative close. Okay, this is when you give them two different options. I like to use the alternative, or I call it the either or an either or kind of close. Okay, where I'm going to ask them, like if I'm going to close, remember you can close a sale, you can close on an appointment for a demo. If I'm going to go close on an appointment, then I'll tell them, okay, are you looking for afternoon or evening? Because I'm sleeping in the morning. So they go, oh, well, I would like afternoon for the appointment. I go, great, early afternoon or late afternoon? See how I'm giving them choices? And then they tell me, and then I will offer them two different times, okay, for them to choose from. So you're just giving them choice. You're not saying, do you want to buy or not? Or that's an alternative for you right there. But I would rather you gave them choices. Okay, so if you wanted to sign up for War Games, do you want to go month to month or do you want to pay for a year in advance? On the self-help class that I do with Bill and Frank, it's One Life Productions. What do we do on that one? We say, you have an option of paying monthly after attending the event, or you can pay for the whole year and save 20%. So that is an alternative. Okay, I combine it with another one later, which is called urgency, which means you can only sign up for it here at the event. Okay, I'm working with Greg Reed on some other stuff, and that's exactly what I was texting him earlier, and I was like, no, put on there. This was only good if you hand it to one of our representatives at the event. So that way it gives that urgency piece, but sticking with alternative. Okay, so this sales rep's trying to sell a fitness membership to a prospect. Okay, she should talk to me because I need that. But after she goes through everything, the answer is going to be very simple. She goes, would you prefer a 6-month or a 12-month membership? What's not in that alternative? Walking away and staying fat. No, the answer was you want to get in shape. I've already talked to you about it. You were going right along with me. And then I go, are you looking for the short-term or the long-term commitment? Are you planning on being healthy short-term or long-term? Because I have a 6-month or a 12-month. Which one would work best for you? And I'm asking them to choose between two alternatives, okay? Don't go beyond 2 to 3 alternatives, because the issue with that is once you get past that, it becomes a confused mind will never buy. And so to you owe it to yourself to make sure that it's easy for them to say yes, okay? Here's our urgency close, the one we were just talking to, okay? That means what? There's a time constraint on that. If it's in my world of automotive, what do we say? We're like, well, this offer stands until the vehicle is sold. So somebody else is going to come in and buy it. Now you're straight out of luck. So you need to take action on it. I will drop in the urgency stuff by telling people, look, it's because we're always selling products, right? And I want to give you an opportunity to come in, take a look at it and decide for yourself before it's gone. So you don't want to turn around and say to people and go, wow, I've had so many people call me. I've had so much of this stuff happen. I don't know if it's going to be there, because you sound cheesy. Okay. So I don't like to do the ones that say, you better do it by this time. I let them know this is only offered for a short period of time. Okay. Right now we're starting this is the first of a month. Now that it's the beginning of a month, guess what happened? Everything you had that was a special and incentive to get people to buy at the end of last month is over. So you would have been telling these people up to that point going, hey, guess what? This incentive expires. So Tom's selling a new product. After several follow-up calls keeps going, he's going to drop in an urgency one because you've done several follow-ups, which means they're not biting enough. They haven't seen it. Some people, guys, have to have that end date, that, oh my goodness, it's going to go away right now if I don't do it. I have to finish at this point. And it's over half the people need to have that sense of urgency created for them so they can do it. If the salesperson says, you know what, it doesn't matter when you buy, it's the same incentive all the way through the year. Now you can go wait until it better fits in your budget, okay? Or gives you time to go shop competitors, and that's how you lose deals, okay? So Tom says this offer is only valid for the next 24 hours. If you don't decide now, the offer will expire, okay? It's a little harsh and a little more aggressive, but you're not using this on every single person. You're using it on the person that's kind of wishy-washy, or the person who has not told you, I don't want your product. I don't want this. So it's up to you to go out there and find a way to utilize that and put it in. And you come off as soft or as hard as you would like to. It's entirely up to you and your style. And that's what I'll end up with, was explaining all the different things. But we also have a fear of loss. What's the fear of loss? Okay. Whatever you determined was your benefit or your positive for their negative. What is their pain point? What is it that you're solving for them? So when you get to that point of saying, hey, I want to make sure we solve this issue for you, if we're going to do that, there's a pain point that you're trying to overcome. Okay. And it may just be, it takes too long to do what I'm doing, stuff like that. So when you look at it, Sarah is selling this person an insurance policy. Okay, we got some insurance people here, right? After several meetings, notice this is a trend. When we don't get good at this, it becomes a long, drawn-out process. I like one-call closes. What does that mean? It means you walk in, you use every tool in your tool belt, and you try to close them right there on the first visit. Some people need other times. I think it's 26% of the people need to have time to think and mull it over. But understand, when they go to mull it over, who is it that they're talking to? Google, right? They're going to go out on Google and find out what's wrong with everything that you're trying to sell them, okay? Or find your competitors who are going to say, we'll take 10% off. Now you got to give up 10% just because you couldn't close it then, okay? So Sarah used the fear of lost close by saying, if you don't make this purchase, you'll miss out on the opportunity to get coverage for your medical expenses, or you're going to take the chance of not being able to ensure the livelihood of your family. Okay. So the fear of loss means, hey, that's the same thing I was talking before in automotive, where we say, just so you know, especially on something used, we can say, hey, if you don't act now, this vehicle could go away. If you're running low on inventory, that's a big thing to say. Well, understand, I've only got 3 software licenses left within this incentive. So now I took over the urgency side, added the fear of loss. Do you see how these stack and that you can plug and play to get these into what you're looking for? Okay, I want you to remember this because I would like you to go see all of them. Go through and see how it works. Okay, the summary close. Okay, the summary close is you listing off all of the benefits, all of the incentives, whatever it is you're giving to them, okay, then asking them for the sale. This one should be a given. We all should be doing this to begin with, because anytime you're giving a benefit to someone, or remember what we talked about on customer service, what did you have to do in order to build out a great customer service experience? You had to give the impression of deviation from your policy. So if your manager says to you, I know the product is $3,000, but you can go to $2,000 if you had to. You don't need to go, guess what, I'll go to $2,000, because then they'll negotiate from $2,000. So we're at $3,000. So I'll sit down and go, look, here's what I'm willing to do for you. On this purchase, I will throw in the 24/7, 365 customer support. Okay. If you have that already and they don't know about it, that's going to be a benefit. Okay. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to also send you out materials that I don't normally send to other people, and I'll send it to you free shipping, drop it at your door, so you'll have this as backup at any point you need to use it. Okay. Or I'll send several training videos to you that aren't for the public, but I'll give those to you so you can utilize how to go through and make that, right? And make it more productive for you and help you to get through this. And so, but hey, you know what? Try it out for 30 days. If it doesn't work, you know what? We'll part as friends and there'll be no charge. Whatever you're going to do, you're going to go add it to them and recap it all the way through and say, so where should I send, right? Go back to assumptive. So where should I send the agreements to? What email's best for you? Now they go, oh, it's this one. And it's so natural for them because you just summarized everything you're doing. And if I am going to sit back and say to you, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and give you this, and you put it all together, you have earned every right to ask for that. So again, let's go back through. Assumptive, you are assuming they're already ready to go, okay? And when did you want to schedule? Whatever you want to schedule, okay? What's the best email address to send your agreement to? Don't say contract. You guys remember that, okay? Alternative, I have this or this. Both of those things lead to the sale. So did you just want to pay cash? What happens right now if you go on any of like the shop sites, right? Shop, the actual place where you pay and stuff. You go into that app, the shop app, and when you're in there, it keeps all your information together and it says, this is going to be $100. Or if you want, you can do 4 installments of $25, and then underneath says plus interest, where they give you a loan to make it easier for you. If you could do it with your customer and say, you know what, here's the option. We could do, all payment up front, or we can split it up into 60%, 20, and 20 over the next 90 days. Does that work for you? Right? Which one works best for you? All at once or a 3-pay? That's the alternative one that comes up. And then when you say that and they're like, well, I'm thinking this, I go, great. What email should I send it to you? And you go right back over and pop into your assumptive. Okay. Urgency. I can only do this till the end of the day. I can only do this until my manager leaves. We're all typically in the group entrepreneurs. So what does that mean? As an entrepreneur, okay, we can say yes or no. Okay. That's why a lot of entrepreneurs put in there that they're vice president of this, or there's something else other than I am the owner. When I ran all of the dealerships I've ran, my cards never had my title on it because I didn't want it to say either general sales manager or general manager. Okay. When I worked in the software industry, I didn't want, VP of sales. I didn't want that on my card. A lot of people like to brag, but if you're sitting down telling everybody this is who you are and this is how high up the ladder you are, then there's no one to escalate to. There's no person that you can, play the Playhouse 90 thing that we like to say, which is put them on hold, come back and offer them what they just asked for, or offer a concession. But that would be because you had to talk to somebody about it. If I'm talking to you live and you're going, well, I want 10% off or I'm not going to do it. And I go, well, there's no one higher than me, so let me check with someone lower than me to see if I can give you a discount. It doesn't make sense. You can't go, hold on, this is going to hurt me. I need to put you on hold until I get done with this. Okay? All of these things you need to understand and go through. Fear of loss, okay? Well, it's up to you if you want to keep driving that vehicle you have that doesn't provide you with peace of mind. Okay? I don't know. If you were to buy this new thing, then you don't have to worry about the old thing that's out of warranty. Okay? You can have the new thing in place, which will increase efficiency, that will lower expenses and give you a higher output, which ultimately means more net profit. But if you choose not to do this, right, you're going to miss out on the extra $36,000 a year that we calculated during those other meetings. So that's going to be like, oh, wow, I should probably do it, right? So, and then don't forget, I've also included this, and this. So are we ready to go forward? What's the best email to send your agreement to, right? If I'm sitting with them, I'm like, do you want to use a blue or a black pen to fill out these agreements and get it done? Okay. So in review, closing deals is absolutely crucial to us. We don't have a business until we sell something. And if you aren't any good, you're going to have to offload this to somebody else. But if you can't even check to see what these people are doing with the leads that you're giving them, how do you know that you're not overpaying for whatever service or that person? Every one of these things it increases your chances. It gives you a better shot at actually closing a deal, bringing money in, and paying for everything you need to pay for, right? Offices aren't free, okay? Staff is not free. Internet, you got to pay wherever you're at, okay? If you negotiate it with your office rent, that's great, okay? But as you get going, you have to have cash flow in a business to stay alive. So all I want you to do is just start practicing these things and going through. And for anybody who got a link shared with them, right, here we are. wargamesgroup.com takes you there. If you go to joinwargamesgroup.com, you can join us. So I'm assuming that all of us here within the group that got the link in the memo, right, is going to just keep this to themselves. But if it were to get sent out there, then you need to come out and go to joinwargamesgroup.com. Wargames Group is for all of us that are already in the group, already paying to be in this group. That's how they access us to be part of this. So hope you're all doing well. If you're not part of the group, you need to. Why? There's so many things I can list off. I could also give you an alternative that you can join month to month or you can join yearly. It's going to be month to month. I got to earn your business every time. Okay? So guys, get out there. Don't be afraid. Put it into go and practice these with somebody. Practice it until it comes out smoothly, because it's great to know things, right? They say knowledge is power. They're wrong. It's applying knowledge is power. There's a whole bunch of people that we know that are smart as heck that don't know how to actually implement what they've learned. You can watch all the TikToks, watch all the YouTubes, watch everything you can get your hands on, but if you can't put the rubber on the road, okay, that car won't drive. So as usual, everyone, I want you to sit back, take a breath, shake it off, realize what you got to do, write out an action plan, and then go out and sell something.